Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is a movie that I have seen before, so you could argue, why the hell are you watching and reviewing a movie if it's not for your 100 movies list? Well, I remember seeing this in theaters years and years ago. It's not a movie that I rewatch a lot, if ever, but Push was a 2009 film that was directed by Paul McGugan, something like that, and it stars Chris Evans as Nick. Nick is somebody who, well, first I guess I should talk about this world, right? This world is, there are superpowered people with abilities. I guess they're like mutants, but they're just not called mutants, and they're out there surviving. They're doing what they do. There's this organization that goes around and is killing these people because they don't think they can trust them, contain them, do what they need to with them. And so they're kind of on the run. His character is on the run. And he gets introduced to Dakota Fanning's character because she's a psychic, his ex-girlfriend, a bunch of characters who are just trying to survive from being caught by this company. Yeah, if this plot sounds pretty straightforward and not all that interesting, I guess I can understand that. I kind of enjoy this movie, kind of. I say kind of because I want to like this movie more than I already do. I want to say that I like what's going on. I want to say that there was something a lot more interesting here. And I do think that there is. I don't think this is based on a comic book or anything like that, but it certainly feels like it has that blueprint of, here's a movie that isn't based on the comic book but could be, and we have maybe a trilogy or sequels planned for this, because there's a lot of backstory stuff with these characters and the plot that they don't really get into. It's almost like they purposely don't get into because maybe they knew that there was more to do. Maybe they knew that or at least they wanted to do a lot more with it and see where it could go. It's just sad that they never did a sequel, so as it stands, it just feels like a very incomplete type movie. Chris Evans, though, is likable as Nick. I guess that's a big reason why I like the movie. He's not as goofy and funny as you've seen him before, but I think he has enough personality there to where I want to follow him. It's just too bad that writing-wise, there's not a lot to him other than his father was killed by the organization, so there's that, really. Dakota Fanning plays Cassie. She's the psychic, like I said. She can sort of see visions and she draws them, and she's very worried about dying. That's really these characters and their motivations are just that they don't want to die, and I get it. A lot of people, including me, don't want to die, but I think I just needed more than that. They touch upon her mother being locked up by the organization and how she wants to get her out, but it's just sort of said in passing, and once again, not a lot behind who she is. Camilla Bell plays Kira, who is the ex-girlfriend of Chris Evans. Apparently, when she got captured, he was supposed to come and save her, but he couldn't find her, so she's very upset with him at first. But I say at first, it's like one scene. And then it's very quickly after that the two of them get back together and they're just on the run. A lot of interesting things that aren't fleshed out, like I said, that you could touch upon, especially with her. Her character has the ability. I should talk about their abilities. I said that Dakota Fanning can see the future. Chris Evans is a telekinesis work in progress. He can lift things, he can lift guns, but he can't fully control it, or he's not as powerful enough to do what he wants to do with all of that. But Kira, she can get inside somebody's head and she can twist and manipulate their brains, their memories as much as she can, as much as she wants to. Like, for example, she takes freaking poor Corey Stoll's character, who I didn't even realize that was him, obviously years ago. I'm rewatching it now and I'm like, oh, that's Corey Stoll. She gets in his head and makes him believe that he has a brother that he doesn't really have, and that his brother was killed by his henchman partner that's supposed to be going after her. And so she gets him to kill the henchman partner because, once again, she got in his head. I thought that was interesting. I think that definitely could make her character seem shady, though, because, well, she can do anything with this. She even goes up to a couple and says, hey, we're friends, right? And they're like, yeah, well, sure. Give me a ride. Okay. And so it's, well, like, she's next level, like, close to Kilgrave level, as far as she can do whatever she wants. It's creepy. It's messed up. You definitely want her on your side in any event. And then there's something interesting, a little bit of a twist, possibly, with the Chris Evans and Kira character that I guess ultimately wasn't what it was. But I thought at first that was a bold move, and I thought that kind of made her interesting, and then not so much. Djimon Hounsou, which I used to just pronounce his name Djimon, because there's a D in front of his name. He plays Carver. He's the head of this company, like I said. Or not the head, I guess he's just the one leading the current mission of them to capture these people or to kill them. And he's good in the role. It's not like he's bad or anything. I think the problem is that our characters seem a little incompetent, and there's so many points where they should die or they're about to die, but the only reason why they don't die is because Dakota Fanning or another psychic says, no, they're not supposed to die here, or we can't kill them here because that affects the future. So they're only saved. This happens like 2 or 3 times. They only got saved because your visions is that they're supposed to die later? Really? They don't get a lot of cool badass moments that they probably should get. Ming-Na Wen, I completely didn't realize that she was in this film. Now I feel like she's blowing up a lot more. Yeah, she did the voice of Mulan, and she was in a couple other stuff, but between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Mandalorian, I just really am loving her as an actress. So going back and seeing her here, cool, but she doesn't get a lot to do. She's just here just to be here, a couple scenes, and that's really it. Cliff Curtis, I like this actor a lot. He's in a lot of things, and he plays a lot of different characters over the years, and so that's pretty cool. But the thing that I liked about him the most, because whenever I think, or if I'm asked about like what type of superpowers would you want, my first thought is to go to flying or to go to teleporting, because idealistically that makes sense. It's going to help me a lot in life to get to places quicker. Or obviously super strength, or the Wolverine slow aging type stuff. Yeah, like that's what you think of at first. Healing. But when you see that Cliff Curtis, he can just take a piece of paper and turn it into money. I mean, yeah, it's not just that. He can make anything turn into anything, really. He can take like this remote for my camera. I can turn this into, I guess, a PS5 just because that's his ability. And that's cool. But the scene when he's in the restaurant and he turns a piece of paper into a $5 bill, I said, well, god damn, that's the new ability that I want. The ability to turn paper into money. It might sound stupid, but let's think about this logically. It makes the most sense for sure. It sucks that these characters aren't as fleshed out as they are, and it sucks that the story doesn't really flow as well as they might have liked, because I think there's some ideas here. I think that there's some interesting stuff here. Some of the action is interesting. The way how it's shot can be a little shaky and wonky at points, but it seemed like it was going for maybe a documentary feel. I don't know. Look, it's not great. If somebody told me that they thought this movie sucked, I would not argue against it. I would not say, oh no, you're crazy, this is what's really going on. No, it's not that great of a movie, but I can watch it. It's a decent time waster. It has enough in there to where I can put it on. Might not get a lot out of it, but I can put it on. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too have seen Push. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Is it something that you agree could have and should have been better? Is this something that you've just never even heard of before? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Heat in my vein like vernacular. Cook up the beat with a spatula. Y'all are not ready for action. I'm smoking these rappers and feeling spectacular. Making it killing like massacre. Watch out, I'm whipping my wrist. Right on my city, been pissed, but I show them love. I'm not the one that's at risk. My homie told me that when people rise up against you, it's a sign of your destiny real. Fake ones been hating. wicked and jealousy's all they can feel. Plugging the phone,